why don't you go straight down the row here and just introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your company, what you do there.
My name is Sean Chesleigh. I work in recruiting, supporting our wealth management business here at UBS. Prior to that, I spent 12 years supporting our technology recruiting, not only domestically but globally.
So we have quite a bit of different companies here, and I'm guessing you all speak to somebody definitely before they actually get a job at your company. So let's just kick it off with the most important thing. The most important thing I think is the personality. Is the personality of that person as important as the technical skills that they bring to the table?
Obviously, the technology skills is the backbone, right? And that kind of gets people within the door. But for us, we focus a lot on the collaboration. It's something that we drive as a global initiative, not only within technology, but throughout the bank in terms of what we look for. We also focus on challenge in a respectful way, but really challenging how we do things. Not necessarily questioning where things are wrong, but also offering up solutions. So we really try to put incentives, if you will, within the employee population to think about those things and push back in a real strong fashion. So we're trying to constantly improve things. And then the other piece is accountability. Really showing a lot of integrity in terms of what you do and how you do it, and if you make a mistake, that's okay. We're kind of opening up to it and really trying to focus on moving things forward.
We have a medical company, we have a financial company, we have music, we have a lot of different companies up here. Is it the same type of person? If they all had the same skills, is it the same type of person that could work at every one of these companies? You know, is it the same kind of? It's obviously a different cultural fit, but assuming all the same skills, and again, everyone wants somebody to be trustworthy and respect their coworkers. Like, I don't think anybody's going to argue those points differently. Nobody wants. I want like disrespect and nobody's going to say. So those are the standard answers that I expect here. But is there a different mentality people should have when they're interviewing at a different type of company like the ones that we have up here?
I think obviously we focus on kind of those three aspects that we're always looking for in candidates. We are very much open to different profiles and different backgrounds and different products in terms of coming on board. But it really depends a lot on the area that you'd be working within UBS. Some of our roles, a lot of the roles, if you're supporting some of the front office functions, whether you're talking about investment banking or you're talking about wealth management, those do require domain expertise. So I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but depending on the area, we really do look for people who understand the banking area. Depending on the level, though, we have the ability, and we spend a lot of time on training people within the business. We do offer a lot of exciting platforms. We look for people who are intellectually curious and really interested in global work. A lot of the stuff that we do is working with global teams, whether it's within India or Hong Kong or Zurich, Switzerland, where we're based. London and New York, so I think we're open to those factors.
Any other cool pointers of how folks can stand out after that or during that interview?
If you look at technology recruiting and kind of how we have our organization, I think we have probably close to 1,000 roles open globally, probably about 150 within the U.S. So, and each recruiter probably manages anywhere from 30 to 40 recs, so they have a lot to go through. So I think it's really showing a passion for the particular interest, understanding the opening and trying to tie back experience, whether it's domain expertise or not, but really tying it back and offering how you can help, or showing an interest within UBS and being a part of the financial markets is something that we look forward to. And I think for the folks who can really demonstrate that they've thought about it and not just necessarily applied or blindly reached out to the recruiters who might get 30 or 40 emails a day, I think that really helps in standing out.
So let's talk about like what makes maybe a lasting impression that would definitely make you not hire that person. Because I know there's people that you walk out of an interview, right, and you're like, did I just say that? Like, holy crap! I should have stopped talking like 5 minutes ago. That was awful. That was my worst interview yet. Like, let's go over a couple of things. Like, what have you heard that maybe they shouldn't say at an interview or shouldn't do after an interview?
For us, we look for a lot of the same things. I would tell folks it's always good to be positive during the interview. We always ask why you've left a certain company, if you had a challenging situation, and how people speak about previous employers, previous managers. We definitely focus in on. We also look very much in terms of how you interact with support staff, whether it's a receptionist, you coming in to interview. We focus on those particular efforts, and those things really make a difference. The other thing is sometimes on resumes embellishment. If it's on the resume, be prepared to speak to it, be prepared to talk to it. If there's a specific program or project or programming language that you worked on, prepared to be tested on it. And that kind of goes back to the integrity issue that we've spoken about. If it's on your resume, be prepared to be able to speak intelligently about that with the manager.
So let's talk about some other random questions that you ask. Obviously, we ask a lot of coding questions. I mean, you're in technology. We ask a lot of technology questions. What non-tech questions do you typically come up with? I mean, I like to always ask things like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Italian food? Like, do you guys have any random questions like that you could share with the audience?
We tend to focus from an HR perspective, going what we may call kind of technical, for all the roles that you've done, what you've done, size of the team to assess fit. We also spend a lot of time from an HR perspective around behavioral questions to assess some of those competencies and whether or not we would be a fit. At least with us, within UBS, most of the technology recruiters, we're not as technical. So some of the questions you've talked about in terms of case studies or coding tests, generally the first round will be with HR where we're assessing some of the softer skills. The more technical questions or to see how people think will be when you start meeting with our business line, and they'll get into some of the questions you hear about, like you just mentioned. Our legal doesn't always like those questions.
I want to move on a little bit to coding challenges. I don't want to get too technical, but who here gives coding challenges? Does everybody do that or no?
Do you mean personally or as an organization?
I don't know if you mean to personal coding challenges, but as an organization for an interview, do you give out coding challenges? So,
yes.
So 4 out of 5. Okay. All right, now how heavily do those weigh in? Do they have to pass that before you even see those people, or do they? How does that work for you guys? What's the process there?
We've actually recently gone through an effort, what we've called complexity reduction around recruiting, to get the managers to agree to no more than 2 office visits, 4 to 5 interviews, depending upon level, right? Because we found some of the feedback that we got was it was just getting onerous in terms of the amount of times we were asking candidates to come back. Generally, though, when it comes to coding challenges or tests, it differs between business lines. Sometimes it'll be sent. You can do it at the comfort of your own home. A lot of times we do kind of case reviews where when people are on site, part of the interviewing process, you may meet with 3 or 4 folks. 1 or 2 of those individuals, you may have a panel style interview where you do a coding test, and then another person may be kind of assessing for cultural fit.